Hey, is that working? Let's see. Refresh this side of things. How's it going, everybody? Should be rolling. Yes, it is. Oh, and you can see all the shoes and stuff that way. Let's turn the camera slightly. I wanted it to be set up so that way, things weren't flipped around, weren't mirrored, because it always drives me nuts on live streams. If you do the selfie version where I can see the camera facing side, then yeah, this looks like what I expect to see on my screen over here. All right, welcome Aiden, Noah. Good to see you guys. Oh, Noah, you might want to stay tuned if you can. There's a car that I picked up at York that I think you'll like. It's about twice the size of what you normally have, but I think you'll like it. Let's see, Train Fam 101. Howdy, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Tuesday. Hope you're enjoying your lunch. Most of the time I eat, as evidenced by the slight burp there, I eat before, so that way I'm not sitting here, look at the train. No, I'm good. Let's see. Good afternoon. Hey, Chooch. Just saw you earlier this week. York was a ton of fun. We're going to talk about that today on the stream. And behind me, I've got some stuff from York. I got the train, obviously. Technically a York find. We can talk about that in a sec. And then some cars, and we're going to show you and keep bringing around the corner here and place them gently on the couch over there, because some of these are a little fragile because they are of the Atlas O variety. And thanks to this working right, you can actually read that properly. Actually, you can't. I just saw because of the reflection, I guess, through it. Whatever. But no, York was a great time. If you didn't already watch the recap video, check that out. Lots of people there. It's so interesting. Like, I'm going through and sharing stuff, and I don't know why I'm surprised at the responses that I get from some of these Facebook groups that I'm part of, because there's always inevitably a handful of Grumposaurus Rexes that are like, "Oh, York was dead. There was nobody there." Really? I mean, I ran out of time just talking to people. I had to wait several times patiently to kind of get through certain aisles and stuff like that. There was a ton of people there. The parking lot was jam-packed. Arts Model Trains had to park way out in the boonies. He was parked next to D.A. Griffin Hobby, who always parks out there so nobody dings his Ford Focus ST. But yeah, I felt like there were a ton of people there. I haven't heard any stats or anything, or head count or sales figures or any of that stuff from the TCA. But my impression is that it was one of the bigger ones. Michael Oher was shuttling this around at warp speed in his golf cart, and on Friday he was telling me, yeah, this is the fullest the parking lot's been since 2015. I don't know. That's a pretty good sign. So for all the naysayers out there, that, oh no, York was this and York was that, and there wasn't anyone there, and you could roll a bowling ball down the aisle and not hit anybody. Okay, I was there, man. There were plenty of people there from what I observed. Where there's some low time sometimes, yes, but there's never a way. I mean, there's like 6 or 7 halls. There's never a way you're gonna get everybody in every hall all the time. Things kind of move around as things go. Let's see who else is in here. David's in here. What's up, buddy? How's that? Actually, I don't know how the Pacemaker Hudson is, because I'm pretty sure he's actually still on the East Coast. Locomotive on the upper loop. The Mountain Scout Rails is asking. This fella up here was my first York purchase. A year and a half ago, spring 2024. That's Little Green up there in the corner. That's a Mogul. That's a Metka exclusive. My buddy Stu held that one, hung on to that one for me. So happy about that. We still love running Little Green. Let's see. JRH Production says, "Hey there from New Jersey. Really enjoy the channel. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it." Oh, Train Fam says, "We've got a new video heading to our channel shortly, and we're going to Train Fest in Milwaukee." Yeah, Train Fest is honestly, if I wasn't going to make it to York this year, I was planning on going to Train Fest because it's way closer for me. But 2 weekends back to back of train shows is a lot to do, so I've had to kind of pick one or the other. Maybe next year. Let me know in the comments. Maybe next year, instead of doing York with everybody, maybe I should make the other dads, the other 3Rails4Dads hosts, come out this way, and we can do Train Fest together. Because that would be shorter for me. My buddy Dell, I'm pretty sure he's got people he knows in that neck of the woods. And come on, Art, Ray, you guys just hanging out on the Eastern time zone, like ad infinitum. So yeah, that would be a fun one to do together. Maybe I do Spring York and Train Fest in the fall. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Bill's in here. Hey, I can actually call you Bill instead of your full name because I've been doing it wrong apparently. Sorry, buddy. If you didn't have a good time at York, something is wrong with you. I agree. I think just some people just have permascowl, and it comes through in their comments on the Facebook. So yeah, that's their own fault, I guess. If you want to enjoy a hobby, it's easier to do it with a smile than it is to rain on everyone's parade and apparently not even be right, because again there were plenty of people at the York show. I saw some people complaining about prices at the York show. Orange Hall is usually your dealer hall is your higher prices and stuff, but that's usually if you're looking at private sellers, especially in your blue, silver, white, and red halls, tons of deals in those halls. Lots of great stuff. I mean, I saw Atlas cars for like 60, 70, 80 bucks in the orange hall. Okay, it's slightly less than MSRP, but whew. And then you find some in the which hall was it? I think it was the red hall. There was a guy with some Atlas reefers and 30 bucks. Yeah, I'll do that. Things are too expensive. Okay, maybe you need a new prescription, or maybe you just didn't get to go to the other halls. I don't know. Train Fest is less than an hour from the train family. Taking Amtrak on Saturday to get there. That's the most train thing I can think of to do. Going to a train show, taking the train. Awesome. I've never actually taken a train to go anywhere. I've just taken like scenic routes and stuff. You always end up back in the same parking lot where you started, which is fun. The Amtrak operates out of Omaha at like 4:30 a.m. or something silly like that. It works out for all the other destinations on the route, but for Omaha, I think I picked my sister up from the train station one time at like 2 a.m. or something like that, and then it departed at like 4 with the next group or something. I remember it being very early and then being very tired. I think they only did it the one time, but yeah, it would be nice to take a train to actually go somewhere. But at least out of Omaha for Amtrak, the station is always empty because it's only open when like before and after the trains arrive, and they arrive at like the worst time possible. I've actually never seen an Amtrak go through Omaha before because it's always, well, except for the time I picked up my sister. But yeah, cool. I guess I should jump into some recap stuff. Stuff that I got, because I kind of showed a little bit in that video that I made that I think that published on Sunday. We'll start with this guy back here. And it looked like he was glowing there for a minute. Check this thing out. I got this for my son for a Halloween line. This is a ghost trap. If you can't tell the obvious Ghostbusters reference here. I didn't even realize On the other side, it says, "He slimed me," and "Catching Ghosts." The number on the car says 1984 in reference to the first movie. There were two other cars there that had the different years on them, and I wonder if Chris's Trains and Things actually went to the same booth. I can't remember because I saw that he got one of these, and I didn't see what number his was, and I don't remember what booth he got it from. But these guys light up and flicker, and it's just a little Rail King gondola, and got it up here on the elevated line with all the Halloween goodness behind me. This is all getting redone soon. I got a video coming out this week that kind of shows this. But yeah, it's always fun redoing the elevated line. We like redecorating it. It seems like from spring to late summer, it's pretty much the same up there, and it was kind of fun. Like we had like a little cow, like we had like a farm scene, going on up there, and it was just a nice little elevated line. I actually took some of the leftover pieces of grass from the main layout and put them up there. You can still see a little bit of that on the edge here, just to kind of tie it into the layout a little bit better, and that was fun. And then I redid it for Halloween, and this mountain is essentially going to get covered in snow, and we're going to do Santa's Village and stuff up there with the Polar Express for winter, so you'll want to stay tuned for that because that's always a lot of fun to make that. But let's get back to some comments here and see what you guys are saying. Noah says, "I'm going back to Jamestown, California for another photo special with Sierra Railway." You know what, Noah? I'm gonna break my own rule here today, and I'm gonna jump back just for you. Because one of the things I found at York has to do with the Sierra Railway. For those of you who don't know, Sierra, out west, obviously, in California. But they're famous for their role that they played in the Back to the Future 3 movie. Yes, the engine that blew up and plummeted to its death, but then was rebuilt as a time machine or whatever. That's Sierra 3. And especially since Western Pacific kind of operated over there, and I've got my GS64 now, Western Pacific's GS class, I thought I would pick this up. This is a 40-ton stock car that has these nice logos here for the Sierra Railroad, and then here on the main door. Apparently it doesn't open anymore. There we go. There's cows inside. Actually, that cow is upside down. That's hilarious. But yeah, and then the number over here, 2011, I believe this was a LC. Oh, never mind, a TCA car from 2011. They must have done an event out west, and this was a special car for it. I really like that it's got a blue top to it instead of just your traditional black or silver or the same color as the car. So that yellow and that blue on the front and back and along the roof is really sharp. So not only to a nod to the West and to the Sierra Railroad, but also just because it looks cool. That's always a bonus when you find something that looks cool that will work with kind of what you're modeling or what you're doing there. So I picked that up. That was one of the last things I found at the York Train Show. Surprised to find something from the West in the East. That's one thing I will say, it is a little bit difficult when you're going to an East Coast show and you're looking for West Coast stuff. There's just not as many folks collecting that sort of stuff. But, oh yes, thank you. I don't want to restart Windows right now, but I'll let you know when I do. This fella back here behind me, you may have already seen in the video if you haven't. This is a Great Northern 2880, not a bull moose. They call this a Class N3. And these are articulated locomotives for the Great Northern way back in the early 1900s, and they operated all the way up with various updates and such. They operated all the way up to the mid-50s before they were retired and all subsequently scrapped, unfortunately. But this is a brass locomotive. It's a Right-of-Way Industries, and if you look at the running gear, I'm pretty sure I could take this shell off and drop the bull moose on top of it. I'm pretty sure the running gear is identical to them. But the front pilot's obviously different. The whole locomotive, the tender, and everything's all completely different from my beloved bull moose. I'm going to be converting this guy to Blue Nami here. Speaking of Blue Nami, a big shout out to Sid and Audimus, or Johnny if you know him by that. They did a fantastic Blue Nami seminar at the York Train Show, and I really enjoyed being there and really enjoyed... they did a fantastic job with the presentation and were really great ambassadors for the Blue Nami system. And they're not like paid by soundtracks or anything like that. They just feel strongly enough about this system to be able to have a seminar to teach people about it, to kind of do a bit of a, not quite a tutorial. They kind of explained how it works. It's obviously going to be different engine to engine if you're updating something with Blue Nami. If you guys have questions about that, Sid's got a fantastic video that I follow when I did the bull moose. I want to see if they've got like a recording of that seminar because it was really good. And about halfway into it, I don't even think they got a chance to really like talk about everything they were hoping to because they had so much engagement from the crowd, from people asking questions and getting into stuff. Some of it's hard for people to wrap their heads around, like, well, model railroading has worked like this for so long, and then they bring in Blue Nami, and they're trying to apply what they think they know about model trains and trying to apply it to whatever Blue Nami is doing. But Blue Nami is cut everything out, use all the leads to your headlight and your motors and all this other stuff, and just plug them into the spots on the board, get it power through a bridge rectifier so you don't fry the thing, and then boot up your smartphone or tablet, connect to it, and you've got a command control engine. It's a really, really neat system. Let's see what else is in here. Oh man, I've been talking too much. I was watching, Aiden says he was watching Chris's Trains and Things recap video and was keeping his eyes peeled for the green engine on his layout. Yep, you saw mine there. I was at Chris's house with everybody, so it was great to run this guy there. If you didn't already watch the video, spoiler alert, this thing actually arrived to me the week before York. I was originally going to tell the seller, which I learned after purchasing it, hey, they're in Harrisburg, PA. Harrisburg's really close to York. I wonder if they're going, oh my gosh, they're going to York. Hey, hang on to that thing, because I can just pick it up from York. We've already shipped it. It'll be to you in like 2 days. Wow! Okay, cool. I'm actually really glad they shipped it. They've had this engine for sale for several months over the summer, but it was just too high of a price for me to go for. I was watching it because I've been looking for one of these, but I want to find one at a good price. That's what I do. And then they relisted it just as a straight-up auction, starting from $1. So I had my eye on that one, and I got it for a great price. And it was just the week before York, so I count this as my York find, because I literally went to the booth that sold this and brought it back there and got a picture in front of the booth with this engine because, yeah, I got it. But because it sat for so long, and this is an old engine, probably during shipping, one of the wires had come loose that was connected to one of the motors. I resoldered that, no problem. But also that same set of motors, these back drive wheels were like barely moving. And I opened up the access door to see like the condition of the gears and stuff. And the gears are fine, but they're just stuck in this essentially molasses type of hardened grease. Yeah, it was gross. So I cleaned as much of that out as I could realistically, got it running down the line, and brought it with me to York. I'm glad they shipped it to me so I had time to make those repairs, because had I picked it up at York, I wouldn't have had the tools or abilities to do that, and I wouldn't have had anything to run at Chris's house or at the Lower Susquehanna Valley Modular Railroaders Club. They're super awesome. Thank you guys for having us out. That's their Super Bowl. They do a fantastic job of running all that stuff. Essentially, it's a gigantic, super fun open house with food and drinks. And, you know, drop a donation in the box to help cover that stuff. And just sit and talk and catch up with folks and meet folks and run trains. It's train heaven, really. Let's see. Yes, I do have a Lionel Scout. Mountain asks, I have one. They are so beginner friendly. Yes, I mean, all of your post-war stuff in general is very beginner friendly because it's literally just power on, train goes, power off, train stops. Mine needs a little bit of cleaning in the motor. It's not working the greatest. But if you just force the power on, then it just runs. But you can tell it'll run better with a little bit of TLC. My friend Chris told me that those are a little bit of a pain to actually open up the motors on, so I'm kind of hesitant to do that. Let's see. Lion Master, guy's name is literally Lion Master. I love this. I think I've seen you in the chat here before. Something about being fragile. How's having a brass engine? Yes, they're great until they aren't. These front, and I can even see it's still broken. These front grab handles here on the N3 are broken, but otherwise, the rest of it's fine. I think as you get more detailed, like if you go with Sunset, Sunset models are fantastic, but there's tons of details on them. So if you even look at them wrong, like something's probably going to come undone, especially if you're not careful handling them or shipping them. The more detail you get, and this is true of any manufacturer, Sunset or otherwise, this isn't a knock on them. This is just saying that, yeah, brass engines can be fragile the more detailed they are. Now, thankfully, Right of Way Industries brass models are detailed enough to look cool, but not so detailed that, you'll blink while looking at them and a piece will fall off. They're a little more robust, but it's also because they don't have quite as finite of detail as things like Sunset models. So, yeah, your older brass stuff, like older like Weaver kind of stuff, and Right of Way Industries, 90s kind of era stuff, they can still have fragile parts, but in general tend to be a little bit more robust because they're just, again, not quite as detailed. But still nicely detailed enough to be able to blend in with like legacy stuff. Let's see. Newt's here. Glad you made it home safe. Yes. Bit of a hike from here, 17 hours. If you don't know, I drove to the York Train Show, and I live in Omaha, Nebraska. Bit of a hike. I'm still kind of tired from that, honestly. But, yeah. Let's see. Noah Train Guy says, I'm excited to see UP 4014 next year when it heads your way into the East Coast. And then it's going to head out west, too. Yeah, Big Boy 4014's got some big plans. I thought the 2024 season for Big Boy was busy because they did the Westbound tour, and then they also did the Heartland of America tour, which is essentially the whole system, just in 2 separate tours. I know they didn't get to the Pacific Northwest. That would have been super cool to see. I know UP wants to get up there, but at the end of the day, you still got to be a shipping company, and if that big locomotive ties up your shipping lanes too much, you have to give certain access to that locomotive to get up there, and I'm sure it's a logistical nightmare to do that. So I understand. I know the fans up there are probably upset. 844 used to go up there all the time. In fact, 844 used to regularly operate in the Pacific Northwest. But Big Boy 4014, I don't think since it's been restored, it's ever been up to the Pacific Northwest. I think it's just been like Challenger and 844 that have made it up there. Let me know if I'm wrong. Missed you at York. Oh, yep. Gojira says he missed me at York, and it's like, what? I was there. What are you No, yeah, there were a bunch of folks that were at York that I didn't get a chance to see. Case in point, the Chief, Mr. Rail Chief 74, if you're watching this later. I still got your car. But kind of bummed I didn't get to meet some people there, especially folks that I've known in this hobby pretty much since I got started. I have Rail Chief to thank for kind of doing my first live stream ever. He had me on as a guest back when I got started. And as a result of that, I met Art and Ray and Dell. And if those names mean anything to you, then you know that they're some of my best friends in the hobby, and we do the 3 Rails 4 Dads live stream with them. So that show might not have existed were it not for Rail Chief. So thanks, pal. You heard it here. I'm giving you credit. Let's look at some other things I got. I've been on about these Atlas reefer cars. This one's Nash Quality Mustard. I've been going for fewer of the road name specific ones and more so just region specific. So this one's from Chicago, so you'd see it floating around the Midwest anywhere. These all have the same nice details, although the Atlas ones, the tops don't open up, which is fine, but just something to note in case you're familiar with this type of design. These are 40-foot reefer cars. I also found this one, which is K-line. Now, the thing to look for if you're trying to figure out if they open or not, there's really two things, and I don't... Oh, this one does. The Lionel ones have an extra little tab up here, but the K-line ones, see how these little connections to the edge of the ramp connect with the rest of the roof? That's because the roof can come off. And you got, check out all that cool detail, and you can even hang stuff from the rafters with this section here. So yeah, super detailed exterior and interior on these. The Atlas ones don't do this. I don't know if they just left that feature out or if they did something different with the details to keep you from doing that, but you'll notice that these bars come down and connect to the side. So if you're looking at a 40-foot reefer car and you can't tell if the roof opens or not, just look to see where these guys connect, and if they're connected to the rest of the roof, you know it can lift off. Going with the reefers, got some Chicago Northwestern. I already have a Chicago Northwestern. It's kind of a gray one, but I wanted the yellow and green, and I really like it. I couldn't even tell in the box because I was just looking at it like this, but I really like that they all have this brown roof going through on all of them. So it's a nice kind of uniformity when you're looking along the top of the train, but then just an extra color on here then as well. Really nice, really sharp reefer car there. And what else we got? Oh yeah, this one. Okay, I got this one for two reasons. Maybe even more. The roofs do come off of these. These are the Lionel Milk Reefer cars. Refrigerated Fast Freight Express Milk Car, it says on the side. It does have the big modern UP flag there, and normally I don't go for something like that, but it's got this nice overland look, and it kind of goes with my streamlined passenger cars as well. It's that same kind of paint scheme. And look on the end here, it says Denver 2026 LCCA. This is the convention car for the Denver LCCA show. And the guy there told me that you can actually pick it up cheaper at York than you will be able to if you try and get it at the convention. And it's like, well, funny you say that. Maybe I'll go to the LCCA convention. I haven't been to any of the train shows up in Denver before, so I don't know. Rocky Mountain or LCCA, either way, might be pretty cool. My buddy Will lives up there, so it might be neat to visit him, especially considering I kind of missed him at York. But yeah, the roofs come off these, and they got the details inside. These are a bit more of a pain to put the roofs back on, so I'm not going to bother doing that right now because I don't want that headache. But yeah, I picked that guy up from the LCCA booth. It's the only thing new that I got. Everything else was pre-loved. And finally, this one I kind of found on accident. This is a Union Pacific MTH Premier boxcar. I can't remember if it's like PS1 or what. But it says, serves the West on one side and Road of the Streamliners on the other. Got really nice separately applied details. I like this boxcar for two reasons. One, this is a nice size. This is about the same size as my Rail King boxcars. It just has more detail going on. So that means this, you're already catching on. This looks great with some of my my Lion Master engines because it's not super big, but looks great with scale engines obviously as well. But also you'll notice underneath Union Pacific, it has these letters here that say OSL. Stands for Oregon Short Line. And the Bull Moose and 618 and my Greyhound Challengers operated in that part of the UP line. The Oregon Short Line is something that I kind of have a bit of a sweet spot for. So the fact that I found a scale detailed boxcar that has OSL on it is just bonus points for me. That's fantastic. So going to be running this guy both behind the Bull Moose and 618 because it's nice to have that. And I'm out of cars. Wow. Yeah, I didn't get a ton at the York Train Show. I usually don't when I go to these things. I am focused on talking as evidenced by me not being able to shut up and read some of your comments. I better get back in here. Dylan says, Lionel Store checking in. Sorry I'm late. Hi. Hey, it's our... Oh, wait a minute. From the Lionel Store, you wouldn't happen to be in North Carolina, would you? Howdy, by the way, if you are. LLC, hey, I know who that is. That's our friend Stu. Mr. Metka, man. Anytime I even just like, who's Stu? And I'm like, oh man, I get to gush about my buddy Stu now. I love Stu Rankin. That guy is a hell of an ambassador for the hobby and for Metka, obviously. But like, even if he's not on the clock talking about Lionel at a show, this guy just excretes enthusiasm about the hobby. There's no way to talk with Stu and not have a ear-to-ear grin on your face. The guy needs to walk around with Tylenol, not to turn people into train fans, but so that way he can give you some when you have, jaw pain from smiling so much. Because it's gonna happen. You're gonna enjoy yourself talking with Stu. It's just game over I should have Stu talk to those curmudgeons on the Facebook groups that are always complaining about stuff. Because I guarantee you that guy will be able to turn their frowns upside down. If anyone can do it, it's him. Enough of my Stu soapbox. Hitch a ride on 4014 when it comes east. Yes, Newt, that sounds like a great idea. I've never ridden on not only 4014, but just those streamlined cars in general. I've seen them a bunch of times. They have them here across the river in Council Bluffs at a nondescript shop, and every now and then my son and I catch them. But yeah, would be great to ride Big Boy out east. That would be fantastic. Looks like some folks got some deals. Gojira said he got 2 passenger sets and 13 hoppers. And a locomotive. Wow, for quite a deal. Good deal. Lee Douglas, man, I should do one of these. Do one of what? Do one of these live streams? These are fun. Or do a train show. Do a train show. Those are fun too. Let's see what else. And if I missed your comment from earlier, drop it in there. Again, sorry, I'm trying to get to all this stuff. Bill likes the York Hall. It's so funny because it's H-A-U-L. It's a hall, but you like the York Halls, like the H-A-L-L is where you go to find all this stuff. So it's always funny, like when I'm trying to like voice text somebody that, oh, let me see your York Hall. No, not the Orange Hall. No, your hall from the Orange Hall. No, the hall of the hall. Let's see. Dell, what's up, buddy? I miss you already. Talked with Dell last night, actually. Just on the phone. I miss those guys already. The York hangover for me is not an actual hangover because I'm the designated for everything. A title that I wear proudly. I am totally fine for I volunteer my services half the time because it's actually my excuse for every now and then when somebody finds out that I don't really drink or I don't get drunk or things like that. Every now and then when somebody finds out, they're like, challenge accepted. We're gonna get this guy faced, I just bleeped myself. And that's never fun. So if I place myself in the designated driver volunteer lot, then they can't get me drunk because I've got to drive all these other guys home. So it ends up acting as a bit of a defense against people who have determination to do that to me. You'd be surprised. People try and do that, especially in college. That's when I learned that trick real quick. Plus, I like driving, so it's fine. Oh yeah, the UP excursions are crazy money, but that's all right. Newt says he likes Stu, but we don't want him to get a big head. I know, yeah, we can't let it go to his head because then he'll get an ego about him. But I don't think that's possible because I don't know. I can't envision Stu being a complete D-bag about this. Lee says, do one of the live stream. Yeah, do a live stream of your York finds. Ended up with 4 new American Flyer sets, and giving me the one. Yeah, thank you, Lee. I showed my son that, and Sunday we were gonna run it, but they were too busy playing Legos. So we will get those guys out. My plan is to do one of two things. Lee was kind enough to give me an American Flyer set that looks like it's in really good shape. At first, I was a little bit hesitant because the last people to give us an American Flyer set, they were so rusted and trashed and had mouse poop in the box and all that stuff. Where it's like, can't even really use these. That's like, you essentially gave me stuff that I will now have to put in the trash instead of you doing it, because a lot of it was beyond saving. Not all of it. Some of the rolling stock my dad managed to save and such, but yeah, it was in rough shape. So when I saw that he was giving me something like, oh no, is this... But Lee's not like that. Lee gave us, looks like a really nice set, complete and everything, so excited to get that out and check it out. So thank you, buddy. Lion Master says, love the Blue Nami enthusiasm. I converted my MTH Rail King PS1 Y6B to Blue Nami, and I love it. That sounds awesome. And yeah, it's a great candidate for swapping anything conventional. I think the only thing, like the Pullmore motors won't work. I forget exactly why, but there has to do something with how the motors get power. But otherwise, yeah, it's a great candidate for modern conventional or shot TMCC or legacy or MTH engines. Anything that you want to have command control can basically be done with Blue Nami. I'm going to be doing that again to this guy over here. I don't know if I'll do a tutorial on this or not. Again, Sid has a fantastic tutorial that I follow, so I feel slightly redundant making a tutorial about the tutorial that I follow. I don't know if that would be helpful. Did I sell my daylight? Yes. I guess I should talk about stuff that I sold. I wasn't expecting to find all of those engines homes, but I knew that the pacemaker Lion Master Hudson was going to go to David before I even left. Don't worry, I'm getting another Lion Master Hudson later, but I didn't want... I have an idea, and I don't want to mess up that beautiful pacemaker, so I'm just glad that goes to a good home. My K4, the Lion Chief 2.0 K4. Shoot, I forget. I'm blanking on his name right now. Maybe it's another David. I thought it started with a D. I'll get it later. I'll get yelled at later. But he's got my K4. I met him at York as well. A bunch of cars as well. And then the two that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to find homes, one of them really surprised me. But the first one, my K-Line Allegheny that I upgraded with Cruise and the sounds, went to B&O scale models. And he's got a bunch of little guys that are enjoying trains on his layout there as well. And he got it for, I got a fantastic deal on that thing, and it's running great. I'm glad it's running great because some of the other engines he got kind of weren't. So I wonder if he's excited about the K-Line Allegheny because it's working, or because it's just that awesome of an engine. It's a fantastic engine. I'm so glad he's got it, and I'm super glad to hear that his little engineers approve of that. So hope you guys are enjoying that. Glad it's got a good home. And speaking of good homes, yes, my K-Line Daylight. Well, one of the 3 now that I've owned. I had a spare Daylight. It's weird. But so I brought that with me. Art was kind of looking at it. He ran it over at Nick's Crossing. And it's a nice engine, but I just don't think it was what he was looking for. And he did find what he was looking for because he got that awesome TMCC Lionel GS2, the single headlight in the middle and the awesome sound effects. And Sid was just, yeah, it's awesome. Sid helped him get the deal from Vince's Trains. It was fantastic. But speaking of Sid, his partner in crime, Mr. Optimus, took home my Daylight. One of my Daylights. I've still got, he's down here. I've still got a K-Line Daylight. Just, I was going to repaint that one black to do Western Pacific, but then I found the Western Pacific one, and it's like, I've got 2 daylights now. So Optimus has that, and you can kind of see in the video footage, he's talking there with Jay of Third Rail, and he's like sitting there patiently waiting in the wings to show him this thing. He's so proud, he's so excited about this thing. And Jay looks at it, he's like, what am I looking at? I wish I had better audio to actually hear what he's saying, but I just wanted to get just his reaction to, what is this? It's super detailed, but it's not like the super bright red and orange colors that we're used to seeing on the daylight. And Optimus is explaining to him, well, these are the colors that typically Third Rail does. They're more muted. I think he was mostly just making sure that they continue that trend so it doesn't screw up his plans. But yeah, Bill says the more tutorials, the better. Well, I guess. I still need to do the tutorial on the GS64. Let's see. DBS Railroad. I'm attempting to convert a Conrail GP20 with a Pullmore motor to Blue Nami. Pullmore is the tricky part. Still have a few bugs to work out, but we're getting close. Yeah, it's not impossible to do them with Pullmore. Again, it has to do with how the motor gets its power and the grounding and all that stuff. But yeah, it can be done, so hope you get it sorted out there. That'd be cool. Yeehaw, Lark is in here, of course. Looking forward to selling a truck. Well, Newt, oh man, don't be one of those eBay scalpers. Our pickup truck for 3 Rails 4 Dads is regrettably not ready in time, or was not ready in time for York, but it'll be here later. We had some signs up at the Grisboski's booth for it, and Art even brought the prototype with him. And we even gave one away at the meet and greet, and that was cool. But yeah, excited about that. Speaking of trucks, you guys will want to keep an eye out for RBP Trains. His York Hall video is going to have something from Omaha. So my son found something cool to give to him, and that was really special. And he's such a great guy. And like, I've known this, but there's one thing to talk with you guys here and in the chat and on messaging and stuff like that. But there's nothing can top talking with somebody in person. And that's part of the reason why I go out of my way to drive 17 hours to York, to talk with you guys, to hang out with you guys, to share experiences in person with you guys. And got to spend quite a bit of time with Chris on Thursday, and I'm super grateful for that, because I know he's busy, and I know everyone would like to spend some time with him. We got to peruse some of the halls together and talk and catch up, and did breakfast. If you're watching RJ's stream about about his experience, first of all, check it out. It's great, obviously. And he says he's meeting at Around the Clock Diner with Chris and JD Stux, who I am thrilled to see not only back, but also just to see again in person, because that guy's fantastic as well. If you want to meet people in person, and you're like, oh, I wonder what they're like in real life, Chris, RBP Trains, and JD Stux, Jason, are fantastic people to chat with. But yeah, I got to have breakfast with them that morning. I got a text from Chris saying, hey, we're going to Round the Bend. Not Round the Bend, round the Clock. Round the Bend's a different place that's closer to here, actually. For breakfast, do you want to join us? And I'm like, sure. And I had to leave Dell that morning, and he put the puppy dog eyes and was like, Mike, you're leaving me for your boyfriend Chris? I'm like, no, yes, but no, I'm gonna just go have breakfast with him. That's okay with you? And he was gracious, and if you love something, let it go. And yeah, it was great. It was also kind of eye opening. It was like RBP Trains, JD Stux, RJ's Trains Unfiltered. My little Boy Scout brain here is Like, oh man, this is how they really feel about some of the topics. This is okay. That's fine. Slightly out of my element. It was interesting. I felt like I was more in my element when I was just talking with Chris than when I was talking with the three of them at breakfast. Glad RJ got some coffee. He was slightly less grumpy after that. It's fine. He's great. I really have enjoyed connecting with all the folks. It's not just me gushing over RBP. It's an interesting situation with that for me because, you know, when you start out online and like Eric's trains and RBP and all these guys are, you know, they're like the idols of the hobby. And then when you actually like start to talk with them and stuff, you kind of round that curve from being a fan to a friend. And yeah, just really special to really with everybody. I mean, shoot, when I first started watching Art's Model Trains, and then he's like, "Hey, do you want to join the group text that I'm on? Dell, this guy named Dell is in there, and you already know Ray." I'm like, "Oh, like I could just have you guys on my phone whenever I want." Boop. Cool. And then they become your friends, and you get to know them, and really special to have those experiences. And it's great connecting with you guys too. I love that. I get messages from you guys on my Instagram and Facebook. I had one guy's like, "Thanks for actually responding." And I kind of get the idea that some of the other guys kind of don't. I always try my best to get back to everybody and do everything that I can. It can be difficult sometimes. Let me get back in here. Sorry. Aiden says, "Did you get to talk to Mr. RMT?" I did not. I saw him a couple times, but he always had people around him. So, would like to explore that. I don't have any RMT cars. I should. But yeah, there was just too much to do. That was a good problem to have. Need to go to Grzbowski's again. They're an hour away from me. Yes, go. And then get our pickup truck. Let's see. Many good dealers out there, but Grzbowski's is fantastic. Yep, Train Family, got to agree, but I have not yet been to their shop before. I want to go visit sometime. I was this close to going when we visited Scranton to go to the Steamtown there. They should just rename Scranton Steamtown, just the whole thing. Although, I think Biden might be sad, but oh well. Actually, I don't know if he will. Hello! Did you miss the loot? Yes, you did, Steam Rail Willie, but I'll do a quick recap. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. You guys already know Mr. Great Northern version of the Bull Moose. Sierra Railroad, 40-ton stock car. Oregon Short Line box car, MTH. And a bunch of these things, the Woodside Reefers, both the Atlas and the K-Line variety, and epic foreshadowing for a Denver 2026 LCCA convention car. So yeah, some cool stuff there. Feels slightly silly if I like spent all that time and then I can just whip through them like that for my buddy there. I'd rather have breakfast with Dell, Newt. Yup. I was gonna have breakfast with Dell the second day, but he was too busy sleeping. It's alright. Aiden says, "What's your opinion on 3D printing in the hobby, especially to replace details?" There's nothing bad about making your own stuff, 3D printing or otherwise. If you want to add detail, if you want to fix things, if you want to fabricate parts, or in my case, you need a holder so that we don't fry your Blue Nami board going inside the Great Northern N3 over here, then yeah, 3D printing opens up a lot of fantastic options. I just don't have a printer or know how to do any of that stuff, so I'm reliant on other folks that do. My friend Art has a 3D printer and made us all a bunch. I'm still using those boxes and pallets everywhere on the layout, buddy. And he gave those to us like last year. So, let's see. Happy Halloween! Yes, from Germany! But yeah, I got the whole layout lit up back here for you guys. Again, Friday is Halloween, and I normally have a video on Fridays. I didn't have a video last Friday because I was at York and I didn't plan ahead. I tried to plan ahead, but there were a few things I wanted to finish up filming while I was at York, and I just underestimated how little time I would have. And now I've got this Halloween video that's ready to go, but I don't want to have it come out on Halloween because then it'll only be relevant for a day. So it's Tuesday, so I might try for a Wednesday or Thursday release with that. So I'm all kind of out of sorts with my releases and stuff. Excuse me, you got the hiccups now. I'm all out of whack with my releases. Let's see. Yeah, does anyone have any more questions or any more things to talk about from York? Otherwise, I can wrap this one up and be under the hour mark this time. Last week, you guys had me going so long that I just couldn't stop. I actually, okay, so on the one hand, I rewatch my live streams and such to evaluate and see what we were talking about and remember things because it's usually a blur afterwards. But I also, I'm just like curious about like you always like kind of want to watch yourself to see what you can improve, what you can change, what you can do with other things. And man, did I have a lot of energy. You can certainly tell I'm a notch or two down from last week's live stream. I had all this energy going into York, and now just the York hangover is real. I want to go back. I want to see my friends again. I want to walk the halls and check stuff out. I feel like I should buy more because then when I look back online and I realize everything's back to normal price again, it's like, oh, I saw that car for like $20 in the red hall, and I found it on eBay for $60. No. I'm so caught up in talking with everybody at York that I forget to get the deals. I'm not doing this York thing very well, am I? Let's see. Uh-oh. It wants to keep me going for over an hour? I don't know. You need a cruise board with Blunami because I have a pair of Williams AC1000s that I want to convert. A cruise board with Blunami? Blunami has cruise built in. You don't have to worry about adding like a cruise commander. My Bull Moose just chugs so reliably around the line. I would hazard Blunami is up there with Odyssey 2 in terms of crawl speed and speed consistency. To the point where I did double head my consolidation number 618, and then behind him, because he's got a full-scale coupler on the front, the Bull Moose, pulling a bunch of Oregon short line freight. Maybe I should get that going again now that I got the new car. But yeah, those two working together. Essentially, I got the Legacy because they're two different control systems, so there's not really a way to technically latch them up. So I got 618 rolling, and then I had all the cars hooked up to Bull Moose, and then I sped up to and then matched speeds right off the rear coupler of 618, and I let them do that for a whole lap to make sure that there wasn't too much variance with them. And then all I did was 5 speed steps up, 5 speed steps down once they connected to make sure that they were matched again, and I had them both going around the line together. Can't run any other trains really on the line when I'm doing that. It's just too risky. But yeah, really fun to have double-heading Oregon short line, Union Pacific engines, Legacy and Blunami together on the line. I'm glad I don't have any grades. That would probably get a little bit trickier. But yeah. It's making me sweaty just thinking about that because it's like a dance of death to get them. All right. They're moving a little bit, but that's enough variance. It's fine. Open the rear electric coupler on 618. Prepare to fast forward. Prepare to fast forward. Moving forward. Connected. All right, back them off again. Match speeds again. They stayed. It works. So much fun. I look like an idiot. I mean, I normally do anyways. Daniel Kane says, since the late 1980s, the hobby declined. You YouTubers have caused a huge resurgence of interest. Thanks for helping fix the decline. I like to think so, yeah. You YouTubers, you. I like to think that we've helped with a resurgence in the hobby, absolutely. What I'd like to do and what I want to focus on um, in the coming year, I have more involvement now with my local club. And I was talking with Thomas and his Thomas and his trains. Um, I was talking with him about why there's train people in the Midwest, but not like a huge following for it like there is in the TCA in York and the East Coast. TCA is a national thing, but it is definitely the heaviest kind of focus on the East Coast. And it's like, shoot, this is the home of UP. Shoot, there's a ton of railroading stuff in the Midwest. Why don't we have a huge O-gauge or just model railroading community out here? And maybe it's just because it's more HO than it is O. Maybe that's why I don't see it as much. I only seek out O-gauge stuff. Nothing wrong with HO, but it's not what I focus on, so it's not what I'm looking for. But yeah, I was talking with Thomas about, because he's just down the road from me in Des Moines. It's like, man, why does it feel like we're the only names in town when it comes to this stuff? But then you go to the East Coast and you can't go 5 blocks without tripping over some social media, YouTube, Instagram guy that has all these trains that he's doing stuff with. Just seems like way more concentrated over there. But I know that there's folks that are paying attention, because I'll go to the local club and people will recognize me and give out stickers and talk with them about stuff on the channel and such. So I know there's folks locally watching. Just would be great to connect with them more and to get more stuff going here locally in terms of events and train show turnout and enjoying all this stuff together. I don't have a whole lot of room down here to like host an event, obviously, but you know, get the Nebraska Iowa Railroaders Clubhouse open and have like a big old fun day, run day where everybody can bring their trains, whether you're a member or not, and just enjoy the club together. That'd be fun. Yeah, stuff that I want to do in the as we approach train season. With there's a show that's coming up in December that I'm helping with our local club, and with all the momentum that's behind trains into the holiday season, want to help carry that into the spring, into the summer. Keep it going instead of making it a seasonal thing that gets put away when the Christmas tree comes down. So yeah. But yeah, thank you, Daniel, for saying that. Because I do think that without trying to pat ourselves on the back too much, that all the social media stuff, bringing more attention to this stuff, is helping. Because I know that there's still people buying trains out there, because I go to Menards and I notice the inventory is different every time. And there's a bunch of Menards stores around town, so it's not like one store where one guy is buying stuff. There's got to be more people here getting that stuff. And they're not all just eBay scalpers. So yeah. Population density, we're more spread out, I guess. I mean, shoot, Omaha's pretty big. Des Moines' pretty big. It's not just that there's a lot of people on the East Coast. There should be a lot of people out here into trains that, shoot, my son's like, Dad, none of my friends know about trains. I'm like, that's okay, bud. They just don't know about trains yet. If you got friends you want to have over the house, you want to play with your Legos under the table, do your Hot Wheels upstairs, bring them down here to have a snack, watch the trains go around, let them pick up a Lion Chief remote and have at it, have some fun with it. Yeah. There's ways we can reach these kids instead of it just being a thing that they see on TV or at the mall every now and then. Well, we're round to the corner to an hour. I can actually finish this at the hour. Let's see, anything I missed? The manufacturer is being located out there. I don't know that that's a huge reason why it's more popular out there. Shoot, there's a big show in Denver for it. Probably doesn't help that most of the preserves trains no longer run in the Midwest. Yeah, we do need some more preserve stuff, but we do kind of have the biggest one. Fremont Intertrain is one example. Yeah, that would have been nice if that was still going. I think, no, I don't think it is going. But yeah, thank you guys all for joining on this live stream. Hope you enjoyed. If you're watching this after the fact, thanks for watching with us. Leave a comment if there's something that you want answered. Stay tuned. Always got more stuff going on, so like, subscribe, all that fun stuff so you don't miss what we have going on next. Tonight, I'm going to the Train Museum, the Durham, old Omaha Union Station, for a Halloween party with my son, so that should be super fun. Probably going to work some of that footage into our Halloween trade back here, so that's going to be a lot of fun. See you guys on the next one. And I got to come back here and press the button. Gosh, it's awkward. Where is that boop? I'll walk around here, I guess. Here's our Batmobile.